Hey beautiful souls, it's your girl J Area. So I want to re-upload, retouch on the David and Celeste situation. The first video I had posted, I was confident in that. I definitely feel like there was a lot of truth in it, but I took it down because I got scared. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of pussied out. I was like, what if this is not right? I was doubting myself, but that was the information that I had got, right? And it's kind of on me on my own journey, just learning to trust myself and stuff like that. And I'm more sure in what I'm saying now, just from filling into the situation a little bit more and things that like I've seen through the media. It's kind of confirming the things that I picked up and stuff like that. And there was a lot of stuff in the first video I kept out because, again, doubting myself, fear of how are people gonna take it? Are people gonna think I'm insensitive? Are people gonna think that I condone in this? Well, I'm gonna tell you this, I don't, okay? And I'm not gonna sit here and reiterate that each time. This is all my psychic opinion, okay? Entertainment purposes only. So first we're gonna look at this at a collective level, okay? Because I'm a Virgo rising, Virgo moon, and my true sky, totally plugged into the collective. That's what I'm here for, okay? But here, we're gonna look at it, what is the collective supposed to learn about this story? Like what did the souls take on a collective level to teach us, okay? And then plus, I wanted to mainly focus on Celeste, and that was my goal. But to understand what happened to Celeste, you kind of have to understand David. So let's get into this, okay? So how do I read? So I've noticed that mine stuff mainly comes through downloads, claircognizance. It'll just come through my inner ear. It'll just be like an inner knowing. Sometimes I'll get like sounds, like music. A lot of times my guides speak to me through angel numbers, so don't sleep on them. I used to use cards a lot to clarify. Now I'm just trying to trust myself more. That is where I'm at on my journey. So if you fuck with me and you fuck with these readings, you like my style and how I do them and stuff like that, it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better because guess what? I'm gonna start believing in myself, okay? Let's get into this, okay? So re-upload, much respect. I'm sending all my love and light to the beloveds of Miss Celeste, and rest in power, baby soul, Celeste, rest in power. It's so tragic what has happened. And I just gotta say, disclaimer, this happens a lot. This is not me taking away from her situation, but this is happening every day with the underage stuff, with the runaways, and things like that, okay? So first, usually how like I'll read is I'll look at their life path number, what intuitively comes through. I'll look at their birth chart and things like that. But since Celeste is a minor, I didn't really want to like full on pull up her chart, look at it, not saying that that's wrong or going for anybody who does that, but I didn't really want to do that. I did for David though. I did look at his chart a little bit to understand him more, but what really popped out to me is that they're both life path number 2s, okay? So like, let's say that if someone was in a healthy relationship, a conscious, healthy relationship that was harmonious, it was balanced, you know, you have two number 2 life path number 2s together, okay, you can see that going good. Like, we've got the same desires, you know, we move in the same rhythm, similar rhythm, we can, or if not, we can find a rhythm and we can flow together. But on the other side, it can be, you know, very codependent. It can be one of the person feels like they're sacrificing themselves. It can be a matter of power play, things like that. So life path 2 in this case really does show the karmic polarity, okay, but in the dynamic of the frequency of number 2. So we can see Celeste, okay, we can see her as more of the lighter side of the manifestation of the number 2, which is like innocence, sensitivity, harmony, connected to the feminine, the divine feminine consciousness stream, right? And you got David, who kind of fell into the shadow of the number 2, which is imbalance, conflict, dominance, manipulation, right? And then together we see the codependence. We see the lack of boundaries, the lack of trust, the lack of respect. There's no harmony there. It's all domination, right? So we can see Together, their connection reveals the full spectrum of two and what happens when love and partnerships are distorted versus honored or respected. So let's get into this energetic tap-in. So on a collective level, I feel like she is bringing awareness, her soul brought awareness towards, again, to the fact that this is going on with minors. This is going on with the runaways. This is going on to the quote-unquote estranged predecessors, descendants of the colonized tribes all throughout, you know, the earth, not just America, you know, and things like that. So let's get into this. So what happened? I instantly went in, what happened? And I got disagreement. And then the last time I had filmed this video, and that I was getting an instant like kind of vision or scenario what kind of happened. And it's almost as if I keep seeing, I'm getting again, I keep seeing Celeste holding a phone. She's sitting there waving it around, kind of like, I got places I can go. I got places I can do. Like, I got other things that are way better than this for me. Obviously, you're not reciprocating. This is not mutual anymore. This is not all what I thought it would be. I don't know if it was like her family, but she was going to get away. You know what I'm saying? She was planning to get away. And I know this might be controversial, but I really do pick up on a baby and her energy. I'm not saying, obviously they didn't find it in her autopsy or and stuff like that, but again, you gotta understand that David, don't come for me, but the way that he came up and the way that he just blew up out of nowhere, you cannot tell me that he's not allegedly an industry plant or somewhere along the lines of that, okay? Heavily groomed to be, which is kind of funny. If you've actually watched the backstory of David, they'll try to sell you that he was just some kid in a closet making music on his phone, which that could be right? But there's so much more to him, okay? There's so much more to him than what they're telling us, okay? And at first, when I very first tapped in, and this is something that I kind of skipped over the first time that I filmed this, was I picked up on satanic energy, okay? I kept hearing satanic energy, rituals, black magic, and I looked at David's aura as I was looking at Celeste's aura, and David has a lot of black around him. So black doesn't necessarily mean like dark energy all the time. It can mean protection. It can mean someone who is just going through like a transition phase, someone who's going through like maybe like an identity split or an ego death, things like that, or someone who is just a shaman, or someone who is very in tune to energy, so they'll just naturally wear black to protect themselves without consciously realizing it. Things like that, okay? But I noticed a lot of black in him. A lot of black in him. I'm so sorry. A lot of black in his aura. And that tells me that there's other forces, other worldly forces that are probably more on the low vibrational scale that are protecting him, that were placed there for him. And then he talks about his alter ego, Atami. Okay? That's enough said about the whole grooming, you know, the MKULTRA, things like that, okay? But I do feel like Celeste was his ultimate muse, and that also shows with the number 2 energy that they both share, and his ultimate fantasy, okay? So moving forward, so I feel like basically in that vision, let me finish my vision. I feel like that vision, there was a disagreement. She was ready to go. David was like, oh no, you're not going anywhere. Kind of like, you knew too much. She knows too much about me. I'm about to get rocket launched, or I'm about to be going on my path. So how can I get rid of this situation? How can we fix the situation right here? And plus, I feel like it was like a bonus too for him in the matter of his satanic initiation, allegedly. Okay, I'm probably gonna get in so much trouble for this video, and that's another reason why I try to hold back. I held back, and I'm redoing this, but you know what, I want the truth to come out. So allegedly, right, this is my psychic opinion, and I'm not God, so use your discernment with me. I'm not always gonna be right, okay? So I do pick up on abuse from both of them, okay? Abuse for Celeste, I feel like I pick up on early childhood exploitation for Miss Celeste. I don't feel like she had a good relationship with her family at all. Someone would be like, duh, she ran away. But there you go. Boom, boom, boom. I even asked her, why'd you run away? It wasn't a good situation at her house. I don't feel like her and her mom got along at all. I don't feel like she felt understood. I felt like there were some things that maybe she like tried to speak about, or kind of in a way, I just see her kind of like this. Like now I kind of get a vision of her just like this. So I don't know if maybe she tried to speak her truth at one point and she was told to be quiet. I don't know if she was raised in one of those houses where, you know, kids should be seen and not heard, or maybe it was both. I don't know. There's something around that. I do pick up that he was physically abusive towards her. And then I got the song Blinded by the Lights. So that would be my clairaudience coming through, right? So I heard the song Blinded by the Lights. I was going through the lyrics and I'm like, okay, how does this operate? So like, I'm blinded by the lights. I'm like, which one was blinded by the lights? And I feel like both of them. So he sold her a dream, she bought it, but also David was caught up in, you know, being famous and all that, right? So then I got the angel number 636. And so this mirrors the imbalance of expression in relationship that he could not resolve, which is now our karmic imprint for the collective deceit for David. Because I got the number 636, I'm like, what does this mean? So like 6, relationships, harmony, balance, love, 3, expression. That was like a mirror, 636 of what he could not resolve karmically for himself. And then I just want to say that these two, when you see something very karmic like this happen, something very dense or something very low like this, usually it plays out from a past life. So maybe the roles were reversed, but in this case, I definitely pick up that there was a past life too, where like there was some kind of ritual going on. Maybe they were both born into some kind of cult or something, and their love was like forbidden. Either way, I definitely do see like a past life to where these two souls were entangled together. Their love was forbidden, whether it was due to race, class, identity, religion, but it was forbidden. Okay. So they kind of picked up where they left off when they met. And it was an instant familiarity. I know that sounds fucked up because she was so young, but it was like on a soul level, she felt familiar with him. I'm not going to say comfortable because no, what the hell. Okay, so when you look up the song Blinded by the Lights, The Weeknd, this just brings up themes of trauma bonding, string attachment, and codependency, which we can see that with the number 2 here. And then again, I pick up on SA from the man. And that I pick up that David, like, not that it's really important, but he's down low. And I pick up that but it is kind of important in the sense that he's got extreme sexuality and balance issues. So this tells me that maybe, I don't know if when he was a kid, something had happened to him. I don't know. Or again, being overexposed. Him literally saying he got taken out of homeschool and all he could do was play video games and watch TV. There you go. You have enough time on your hands. You got a brain. You're a young male. You're a young female. You got hormones. What are you going to do, right? So I definitely pick up, looking at his chart, David has main character energy written all over him, okay? When I had first tapped into his energy, it was funny because I kept getting one of my exes coming through, and I'm thinking like, nah, like I'm not thinking about them. Like, why are they even on my mind? I'm trying to tap into this man's energy. But then when I had it gave me a few days and I sat back and I kept thinking, because I'm like, every time I tap into his energy, they give me this one name of one of my exes. And then I thought about how my ex was in his life. And then I was like, okay, that's why they keep telling me that name. So this tells me that he was brought up fairly well. I don't think he ever really wanted for anything materialistically, and he was heavily programmed into, you know, getting it big, getting rich, making a name for himself within this country. Okay. And I feel like, again, he was heavily programmed and conditioned, and his words, not mine, where he says that he watches gore to desensitize himself to those things. So I got the angel number 946. So this, when I broke this down, this basically just told me that, you know, she wanted to leave. She wanted to go home, but he was never going to let that happen. Okay, in the grand scheme of the plan, he was never going to happen. And then when that one song he sings, like, you know, in the back of my mind, you died, and I didn't even care, that came out before they even started hanging out and not, like, all that, or started to actually be seen together and things like that. I feel like it was premeditated, allegedly, but not in the sense as of, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's more premeditated in the sense of fantasy, of me living out a fantasy that I have created in myself. I am the main character of my video game. I am the main character of this reality. So what I say goes, right? Allegedly, his whole life he looked for belonging, and he will do anything to get what he wants. It's the download I got around him, that he's very sociopathic and psychopathic. He has those tendencies in him. Okay, and then really, this is highlighting the collective and healing need to protect the feminine energy within the males, within the females, protect the innocence, restore balance, and end cycles of harm. And then again, I picked up on David that he had extreme sexuality issues, and this can be from early exploitation, or even the fact that he's famous now and he's got handlers, allegedly, right? We know how that goes. And the way that he came up into fame, I would not doubt it. I don't wish that on nobody. If you know, you know. Okay. And then I pick up that he groomed her. Definitely, he groomed her. And that she was she's tough. She's a tough cookie, but only because she had to be. She was shy, more timid to herself. She spoke when she was spoken to. Definitely just trying to make her way in the world, trying to find her way in the world, trying to find belonging. And I feel like that's another reason why I'm like, I wanted to do this story. I wanted to connect with Celeste. And I get that she was more reserved and observant. And this is how David was feeling towards it that night, really, was because I got the number 949, which kind of confirms that vision that I just said, which was, it was to close out what no longer served him and establish new stable foundations and rise into his soul mission. So maybe this is what was going through his mind that night when that happened, right? And again, I picked up it was premeditated. I do pick up that he is going to get prosecuted, or someone on his team is going to get prosecuted. Either way, if this was some kind of humiliation ritual for David, it's very fucked up to sacrifice another person's life. Second of all, I just want to say that was another thing that I had thought was, oh, who did David piss off? Because the way he had come up, the way he was doing, the certain agendas that he's pushing, you can tell if you just look at his stuff. It's like, who did he piss off for this to happen this way? Because just right as his tour kicked off, that's when they found her body, right? It's like, okay, it's not about him, but it stems back to his energy. You know what I mean? I hope you're following me. Anyways, so she had many impose their will on her. I definitely picked that up, and I feel like that's another reason why I see her do this. And she was constantly in like fawn, flight, fight mode. And I can't even read what I wrote. But I heard from her, like I got the download from her, that he became her safe place at a point. You know, he became her safe place. So I really do feel like whatever she was going at home had to be way worse than being with David in her eyes. Okay. And then again, I get the past life that this love was forbidden between them, or it just couldn't be between them, and this is karmic retribution. And that he definitely likes the power. And here's the thing, he is such a gimmick. This is my opinion. You're not supposed to put your opinion in this. You're supposed to be a neutral, compassionate witness when you do these readings. But he's definitely someone who likes the power. He's definitely someone who's sitting there, you know what I'm saying, making a joke out of it, making a brand out of his Atami alter ego, okay? I just want you guys to understand that anytime you see the David and Celeste saying, don't forget about Atami, the alter ego that he has, that has watched gory anime and played gory games. Because I'm not hating on anime. I love me some anime. I love some video games here and there. Not coming for it. But there's a reason why they tell us, or when we were younger, you know, we don't need to be playing that, or, you know, age restrictions, things like that, okay? So then I got 633. So this tells me that the feminine child, Celeste, is safe in spirit, and her essence speaks through the collective. And her story is meant to spark protection, truth, and healing for others, okay? And their connection serves as a karmic mirror to the collective to end grooming, power abuse, and cycles of harm, and to safeguard the innocent. Okay, so right here, I'm going to put right here, I'm going to put a picture of Celeste aura reading. The first video I did David's reading, and honestly, I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to do David's reading. I'm going to tell you right now, he's got a lot of purple in there, he's got a lot of blue in there, he's got a lot of black. So this tells me he's someone who operates mostly from here. He is otherworldly, a starseed, probably an indigo child, but again, just his will has been distorted, allegedly, and he's got other things working for him, and working against him at the same time. That's why you got to be careful about who you invoke to protect you and things like that, and be very specific. So getting into Celeste aura reading, and it's crazy how reading the morphogenic field of someone and reading their aura can tell you so much just about their story, right? So I picked up on red. So this shows me root and survival themes for her. This also tells me that she came in carrying a lot of ancestral debris to carry scripts that if she was here, she would consciously have to clear them out. But a lot of ancestral cycles that she was perpetrating in and living in, right? And she mindful she was a baby, a kid. And this represents ancestral healing, stability, and the courage to face her fear. A light around this gives her a grounded presence. She's very resilient. She was very passionate about life. Had that fighter kind of esque, you know, she was tough, protective over the one she loved. Probably didn't mind a good adventure, obviously, you know. And the shadow of someone who has red in their aura is the fear of loss, insecurity, or ancestral trauma loops that need to be released. And she's also got turquoise and blue in her field. So this is that truth speaker frequency, okay? So that was a theme in her for her life. This means that she was a calm emotional healer with empathic communication, and she had very soothing energy. The light here is serenity, honesty, diplomacy, and emotional intelligence. And the shadow around someone with turquoise and blue in their aura field would be people-pleasing, exhaustion from overcaring, and just holding peace at one's own expense, which we can see in her story she has, if you've been following. And she also has emerald and green. And emerald and green always pops up in someone, especially if it's vibrant, if it's strong, right? They're heart-centered, they're compassionate. This is about renewal. This is the frequency of forgiveness, being empathic, finding that balance in life between giving and receiving, because these people are going to be givers, you know what I'm saying? The light here is that she's nurturing. This shows unconditional love, connection through kindness, right? So I feel like there was some, I know this is messed up to say because in all sense and purposes, he was a grown man. He is a grown man, but there's a little bit of trauma bonding between them. I feel like both of them, in a sense, had some similar childhood exploitation, and those frequencies kind of brought them together. I'm not going to say it's the same, it happened the same, but they both were, in a sense, running from themselves, right? But a lot of people who have emerald and green in their aura, or just who have the connection to the emerald covenant, things like that, this can bring about heartbreak. These people could become guarded, especially if they don't set boundaries around their compassion and their empathy. It can make them guarded. And then just protecting yourself through emotional walls can manifest. So this is Celeste aura reading. I hope you guys like this take. And honestly, it just feels better to be more authentic about it and to believe in myself. And I hope that justice is found for Celeste, and I do feel like there's more out there. I don't feel like Celeste is the only one. I don't. I feel like the whole team needs to be investigated. Like, not only just David, but the manager, his whole team. So this was all alleged, my psychic opinion, for entertainment purposes only, right? Rest in power, baby Celeste, and I hope you found the peace that you deserve, and you find the justice that you deserve on this side too. So, until the next one, Omni-love, absolute healing.